Welcome, everyone. Today's a regular meeting agenda of the governing body of the Borough of Bloomingdale, New Jersey, Tuesday, July 20th, 2021 at 7 p.m. in the council chambers at 101 Herrenberg Turnpike in Bloomingdale. Call to order by for the salute to the flag. And also, if we can remain standing after that for a moment of silence for Mrs. Dale.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Sorry.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Council President D'Amato,
Here.
Councilman Del Ripa,
Here.
Graziano,
Here.
Hudson, here, Julian,
Here.
Yasti. Coming, I believe, he didn't say that he wasn't, so, but he's not here now.
He'll be here for 5 minutes, probably. I didn't see his car in his house. Okay, we also have our municipal clerk, Brianna Calabro, business administrator, Michael Sondermeyer, and our borough attorney, Dawn Sullivan. This is a meeting called to pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law. Adequate notice of this meeting has been advertised in the Herald News on April 1st, 2021. Copies were provided to the local news media and posted continuously in the municipal building. A copy of the notice is available to the public and is on file in the office of the municipal clerk. Per state fire code, I am required to acknowledge that there are 2 emergency exits in this council chambers. The main entrance which you enter through and a secondary exit to the left of where I'm seated. If there is an emergency, walk orderly to the exits and exit through the door, down the stairs and out the building. If there are any questions, please raise your hand now. Okay, notice that Councilman Yazzie, 703. All right. We do have one presentation tonight, and I'm going to ask Brianna to read part of the resolution that we were going to do for Mrs. Dale, to thank her for all the work she's done for the town of Bloomingdale, not only with our elections, but if anybody knows her, she's the lady with the red hat that walks around town with a bag as she's walking, and she's picking up litter because she'd love to see the town look beautiful. For me personally, my condolences go out to the Dale family. I know Mrs. Dale, and I call her Mrs. Dale because that's the only thing I know her by, because I know her for over 40 years when I was a kid hanging out with her son Frank. And some of you might know or might not know her husband, Mr. Dale. His nickname was Bert when I was a kid, so that's how we addressed him when we went to their house. And they were always welcoming people when you went to their house. Mrs. Dale is a very good friend of my sister's, so we will miss her dearly for what she's done for this town, and we're going to miss the lady with the little red hat walking through town doing nice things for the borough of Bloomingdale because she loved it. So with saying that, I don't know if anybody else wants to make any comments, but I'm going to ask Bree to read.
Just before I do that, so Nancy helps with the elections in the town for many years, which I will read the history of it. And she did give notice that the primary election in June would be her last one, that she would be retiring. So we were, if you know Nancy, she's very humble, and she really, when we asked her if we could acknowledge her, it was like graciously, like, don't worry about it, no, it's okay, it's okay. So upset that we couldn't have her here tonight to really honor her, because she really deserves it. She gives so much to the borough with volunteering her time. She's, when it comes to the elections, which is what I can speak to, she's very reliable. She is here at 5 a.m. She does not leave until I leave, and she doesn't need to do that. So she will be missed. And she really, in my experience with her, she really was a wonderful woman to work with. So if I could just read a resolution that we were going to, so to make Nancy as best we can part of the borough's history. I'll just summarize it a little bit here. So Whereas the Borough of Bloomingdale has prided itself on conducting open, free, fair, and impartial federal, state, municipal, and school board elections held within its jurisdiction, and whereas the borough has called upon patriotic citizens of the borough to devote their time to ensure the borough's elections have remained open, free, fair, and impartial. Whereas Nancy Dale had answered the borough's call to serve faithfully and selflessly for the past 45 years. Whereas during that time, Mrs. Dale had served as a political party challenger, an election poll worker, an election district inspector, and an elected district judge. Whereas upon being selected as one of the 3 charter members of the Passaic County Master Board Worker Program for the past 2 decades, Mrs. Dale has served as the borough's Master Board Worker responsible for supervising the general, primary, school, and special elections in 5 election districts in 3 separate locations within the borough. Whereas Mrs. Dale announced her retirement from active service to the borough in these capacities, now therefore be it resolved that the governing body does hereby express its sincerest gratitude and appreciation to Nancy Dale for her 45 years of loyal, dedicated public service to the borough and to its citizens in ensuring that its elections have remained open, free, fair, and impartial. So this will be a resolution which was permanent record of the borough.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me read
Thank
that.
you. So the only time I heard from Nancy when the elections were going on, if the food was late. She would call me up and say, the pizza's supposed to be here at 5:30. Is it not here? Where is it? Where
And
did
she
it?
reminded me and Jane for
Right.
30 years to not forget the pizza.
Not
So
forget
I
the
will
pizza.
miss her reminder.
So, and Mr. Dale used to come to council meetings pretty much on a regular basis, especially when the park was going on, because he had that background of digging and working in contract work. So if we were making a mistake, he used to come and tell us. So, but good people all around. Okay, and we'll pass that in the non-agenda, in the consent agenda. Okay. We do have 2 non-agenda items tonight, which we'll add at the end, under new business, right?
You can say the 2 items?
Um,
Resolution and an ordinance.
One's resolution, we don't know what number that is.
There's no number yet.
2021, basically what's happening here is we're acquiring another 7.4 acres of land donation from the Tilcon company, which I think is actually Finbar. And I'll explain a little bit more of that later. And then we're also doing a
Fee ordinance,
fee ordinance for
flea market.
flea markets, and I'll let Mike go into that a little bit later when he gives his, when we get to that point. All right? Okay. Early public comment. Can I have a motion to open up early public comment?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Anyone wishing to speak, please come up, state your name and address.
Donald O'Connor, 22 Main Street. I just want to know why the properties are being rezoned again. I've been in town about 25 years, this is the 3rd time you're rezoning me. I
Okay.
don't understand what the reason is and why you're doing it.
Well, we're in the process of working with a company, CME, and we're looking at ways to better our downtown. So when we looked at the zoning going down Hamburg Turnpike, you had a zone, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, B1 and B1A on the other side.
And they swapped.
So,
Had no rhyme or reason. Some on
It's all
the
over
east
the
side,
place.
west side, all of them.
so when we sent this out for review to our zoning board, the recommendation coming back is we're going to rename it the Bloomingdale Center District. So everything down from Glenwell split off to the Riverdale Bridge will be the same on both sides, which just makes sense.
And how is that going to affect me?
I don't think it's right now going to affect you. I don't see why it would affect you. We're just looking for when we bring businesses into town, It makes things easier when they know what the zones are. So if we have somebody on the left side of the street who wants to do something that matches the other side of the street, they have more of a choice. I don't think it's going to affect you at all.
So if I wanted to sell my property, I could still sell it as a residence, it doesn't have to be sold.
That's not changing.
It's their existing use, so yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else? Seeing no one, motion to close?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Report of committees.
John, go first, Drew. Let's see, you got something.
Yeah, no, this is more light content here. So I'm on the Triborough Baseball Board. I'm liaison also with the council. And we're wrapping up hosting Little League tournaments here in town. In fact, there's a semifinal game going on across the street between two out-of-towns. If you get a chance to go watch it after the council, it's some great baseball being played by 10-year-olds. Our 14U team earned a district title, which was fantastic, and unfortunately, they lost last night in a sectional game against Parsippany. So just a great run by our athletes here in Butler and Bloomingdale. But more importantly, Triborough was asked next year to host the 12U state championships, which is a great honor, and it speaks to the program, it speaks to the volunteers, it speaks to the support that this town gives to Anderson Field, and we're going to be hosting that next year. So just a great past couple of weeks of baseball and good run by our kids here in town.
Okay.
Yeah.
And congratulations to the
14U.
14U.
14U. It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Drew,
Yes.
Fantastic.
just as a thought, touch base, shoot me an email so we have that date on the calendar for the Fireman's Hall so we don't book.
For next year.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're booking for next year. So let's
Okay.
get that let's get that day. That way we host a big event as well. We'll be back.
Yeah. There'll
So-
be a lot of people here.
Yeah.
In fact, I drove through Star Lake last night and it was, cars on either side, people all over the place. It was just a really good environment for the kids.
Yeah, so shoot an email so we don't forget to do that.
Okay.
That'd be bad.
You got it.
Because Saturday, there's a big event next door with a car and bike show.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant for next year.
No, for next year.
Next year, the state.
Yeah, no,
tournament.
No, she is,
yeah.
but I'm just saying that, because that's just proves that we're running two things at one time and it could be chaotic.
We'll do.
Unless they have a really nice car they can park over here.
We're glad hit by baseballs.
Okay. Anyone else?
Oh,
You go ahead.
I just wanted to remind everybody, we are doing the river cleanup at Sloan Park, 10 a.m., rain or shine. That is my birthday, Saturday, August 14th. Health department wise, the health department is still encouraging everyone to get vaccinated. You can find all vaccination information on Passaic County's website, as well as testing information. John?
Economic development update. So there's a new business opening up scheduled for 7:31. So that's a Saturday, July 31st at 2:30 p.m. It's Brothers Auto Hunt. They're right on the intersection of Main and Reed Ave. So come down. I think they're going to have some appetizers. So that's always a good incentive for ribbon cutting. So I wanted to make note of that. We also had our first concert series in the park, our second Friday. It actually took place on the third Friday because of rescheduling. I know some folks here were in attendance. I thought it was a good success. There was a good amount of traffic there, meaning people coming into the park. Vendors all said that they did well, meaning that people stopped by, they bought things. The music was good. And we'll have another one that's coming up the second Friday in August. That one will be a country music band. We also do Southern rock, I was told. So a different flavor of music, live band. So I hope we can see you guys again.
It was a great event. Well done.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. Mike?
Yeah. Just want to bring people up. In the last 3 weeks, been real busy with all the storms and stuff that we've had going on in town here. So the first one was the windstorm damage, and I forget the actual date in July that it was. But we had trees falling down everywhere, and we had DPW guys out with Butler Electric cleaning areas in Morse Lakes, Campy Lake, Lemwild Lake, Hillside Drive, Hilltop Terrace, We had trees fall on Bogue Pond, the new basketball fence we put up, so we have insurance claims there, trying to get that replaced by insurance, along with the Morphy Day backstop, got damaged by trees as well. Multiple power outages that night as well, and up on the water tower, there was no power there as well, so we had our water guys in with the generator, manning that station all night to make sure we didn't lose our water level. The rain damage last week, we had a lot of drainage issues in town. Some of the major ones were Van Dam flooded, obviously, but we had some drainage issues on Elizabeth, Catherine, and Highland. And that's the Highland over here, not the one in Morse Lakes that I knew of, which we're working with the residents and our town engineer to try and see if we can rectify some of those issues. We also lost the flag wall in the senior center, had a collapse. We actually fixed that 2 days ago. The DPW guys went there and rebuilt it up, glued the block back in, and put new stone down. And they're going to go back there tomorrow, the next day, and actually do some type of I'll call it a drainage ditch along the left side to try and take the water around it as opposed to letting it go through it. Again, we lost the water tower power that night, so the water guys were there again, maintaining, make sure we didn't lose our water level. We had Glade Road also washed out during that storm. We had Mike Fitzpatrick come in and give us a tandem load of millings, and our DPW guys spread it out on that road to help those residents up there. We've also had the library flood out 2 times. Hopefully today we went in there, we fixed what we think was the leak with the recommendation from Ed Simone in town, who's also on our library board. So we put some stuff in the pipe that was leaking, and hopefully we don't have to find out tonight, but we think there's more rain coming tonight, and we hope that fixed that problem for good. We also, at that point, we had ServPro come in as well and take care of some of the cleaning of the water and testing our mold, if we had any mold down there, which came back negative, so we're good. We had some water line breaks also in the beginning of the month. Andrews and Reeves, we lost a valve blew apart there, so we had to replace that and actually add a valve in. And then the same day, after we got done with that, right before we closed that one up, we got a call that Union Ave and Boston Ave Street had a break right on Union Ave at the corner of Union and Boston. So they were down there that night as well, fixing that one as the same thing. I sent you a message today that the sweeper truck is out again. We lost that today. It's leaking transmission fluid, so it's being sent out to the shop. I'm looking into some stuff for Councilman Yazdi asked me to look into on the sweeper and what the status of that. Should we invest in it? Well, and everything else that goes with that, I'll get back to you on that, Councilman. At the same time today, some good news. We did paint some lines on the tennis courts for pickleball. We had some excess paint left over in our shop, knowing that we're going to rip that up in the fall when we have we get the new courts done totally. But I had some people, some seniors especially, asking if they can get some lines painted on there so they could play pickleball. So we did that today.
Nice.
It took about an hour to do. 2 guys painted the lines on there. And then we also had an issue in the senior center with we were doing a clean out of a closet after it's been sitting there for a year and a half, not being used, and we had some mouse issues in there. So we had to bring an exterminator in and a ServPro to clean up for us. So.
Okay,
And that's it.
long list.
A lot of stuff last 2 weeks.
Any questions for Mike from anywhere else? Anybody
Mike, did they ever take care of the fence at, the big field, Walter T? The broken
Yes.
fence in back? Okay.
Yep.
else? Okay. All right, Bree, anything?
Nothing to report.
Dawn?
Nothing to report tonight.
Okay. For me, the only thing I want to do is thank Linda Bennett. Linda Bennett is the one who came up with the Second Friday idea and took that project on pretty much in the beginning by herself and with the help of economic development and putting that together. I think for our first event with the music in the park and people sitting there and enjoying it and our vendors that were there, I think it was, like John said, it was a real success, and then we can build on that for our next 2 events. Also like to thank Sal and Lena from Lena's. He was a big part of helping Linda, especially with the music part of it, make suggestions. He came up and had some of his food out there, which was really nice, and it was just a really nice event. Starting at 5:30, ended with about 8 o'clock, 8:30, which was nice. So, like John said, come down to the next one. It's just going to grow from there, I believe. And it was nice. Some of the other concerns I've seen is some people complaining about chlorine in our water. I don't know if people have seen that. We are out doing hydrant flushing, right? Which is stirring it up a little bit at night, which might be part of it. But the chlorine levels are fine, there's no problems. I've heard some comments about, opinions about Butler water. Well, we were on Butler water a while ago doing some tests, but we have not been on Butler water. We've been on Passaic Valley. So just want to clear that up. We are on Passaic Valley water still. Okay, so we have to do numerous tests to make sure when we do flip over to Butler that everything is right. And that goes by the DEP. And we're following the process. But we are on Passaic Valley, not Butler water.
And the list of hydrant flushing, the list of streets and days is on our website as well as our Facebook page.
So if there is any problems, they need to contact either Mike or our water department so we can come out and take a look. If they do have an issue, maybe it's other than what they're claiming. Maybe they have a problem in the house, something we can help with, or there's a problem in their area. So we'd be more than willing to help. Okay?
Mayor, August 7th too, there's a dedication for the bench.
Oh, yes,
Both ponds
yes.
for Cindy Hopper.
Cindy Hopper, August 7th, 10 o'clock a.m. at Boat Pond. There's actually a bench there for Cindy Hopper, but we're going to do a small dedication, which also Linda Bennett is heading up. Cindy's family from Florida is coming up to be part of this, and her boys will be there, and there's, I know the fire department will be there, because Sam is in the fire department now, and he's doing a great job to support him. So if you want to come up on August 7th at 10 o'clock a.m., when we do the dedication to Cindy, it'll be a nice event to recognize her for everything she's done. And I think, Drew, Kim is actually speaking at that, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah, we did a lot of work together.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Resolution 2021, 7.1 consent agenda. Have a motion on the floor to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Roll
Can you
call.
just explain a couple of these?
Sure.
The ones that stuck out to me, the authorization, the addendum to employee agreement, Samantha Forrest, that's our shelter manager.
Mhm.
She actually has in the process of relocating to Texas. So we are talking with the ACO officer down there. She's no longer obviously going to be an employee of the town, but we're going to keep her on as a consultant, because she does a lot of the stuff she does from home. She can continue to do from where she's at, a la our Facebook, making appointments, the things with the vets and stuff like that, she can do as well. So we adjusted her contract to read that we're going to take her through the rest of the year. It's a minimal cost. It's less than half of what she's actually getting paid now. Take us through December 31st. The reason we're doing this is a busy season right now for the ACO, so it gives them time to actually find somebody, the proper person to fill the spot. That's what Lisa wants down there. And then the H&I, we talked about this. This is just a formality. This is, we have the county reappropriated the funds from the basketball court. We have $30,000 left over, so we're able to purchase these items for Bogue Pond. So it's just again, a resolution from the town saying that we're going to appropriate these funds. We're going to use these state and county co-ops to buy these products.
Okay. It's more benching and tables, right?
Benches, tables, yep, garbage cans.
Yeah. So, okay. Anybody else? Questions? Do we have a motion? Roll call, please.
Tomato,
Yes.
Delariva,
Yes.
Graziano,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Julian,
Yes.
Gasky,
Yes.
Okay. Item 10, pending items. Second final reading, public hearing, ordinance number 14, 2021, 2020, amending Chapter 92 zoning, establishing the Bloomingdale Center District. Public notice statement, please.
Yes, this ordinance was posted in the municipal building, published in the Herald News, and copies were made available to the public so that a motion may be made that it be read by title.
Can I have a motion to read by title?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
An ordinance of the Borough of Bloomingdale in the County of Passaic, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 92 zoning of the Code of the Borough of Bloomingdale.
Okay, motion to open public hearing.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody wishing to speak? Seeing no one, motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion for adoption.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Del Ripa,
Yes.
Graziano,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Julian,
Yes.
Yazdi,
Yes.
Tomato,
Yes. Okay. Introduction of new business.
number 10.
Okay. Adoption of resolution number 2021 7-10. Payment of the bills.
Second.
Roll call.
Graziano,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Julian,
Yes, with the exception of vendor 05288, I'll abstain. I am the head coach of that team.
Yazdi,
Yes.
Tomato,
Yes, with the exception of vendor 01463.
Del Ripa,
Yes.
Okay. Adoption of resolution number 2021 7.11, a word of contract for Union Ave sidewalk improvements to Cervelli and Son General Construction. This is the CDBG grant that we got in 2019 to redo the sidewalks from Main Street, and we're going to Rapkin Road. So those sidewalks will be replaced, sidewalks and curb. Can I have a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Roll call.
Hudson,
Yes.
Julian,
Yes.
Yazdi,
Yes.
Tomato,
I'm going to recuse from this.
Del Ripa,
Yes.
Graziano,
Yes.
Okay. Introduction of ordinance number
16.
16?
Yeah.
16, 2021, Chapter 92 zoning. Was it two X's? I thought it was
I
20.
usually fill in the number and I didn't go back.
16. Can I have a motion to read by title?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
An ordinance of the Borough of Bloomingdale in the County of Passaic, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 92 zoning, Article 5, regulations governing certain uses of the Code of the Borough of Bloomingdale. And you can schedule the second and final for this ordinance for August 17th.
And just to clarify on there, I don't know if it's in the introduction one or not, but we gave to you tonight a copy of it. The one that we first sent to everybody had referenced Chapter 4, when we really should have referenced Chapter 2. So there's three modifications we changed. We just changed the 4 to a 2 in there. And then we added on public property to item number 5 under 2B. And that's a reference to when we do flea markets. If they have a flea market on public property, let's say Sloan Park or the school field, we're having a $1,000 bond in place to help to clean up. If they don't clean up, then we have a bond or something, we can give the DPW guys there to clean up after the fact if they don't. That's what that's about.
Okay. All right, item D, discussion for 335 Union Ave, 335 Union Ave. I put this on there because I just want to let the public know, we were contacted by the county. The county is looking into the horse farm to make it County Park North. They contacted us because they're applying for a Green Acres grant. So people might have saw that the county's buying the horse farm. They're not even close to that. They have to apply for Green Acres Fund to even be able to do that, and that's very difficult money to get. But their hope is that they can purchase that property and negotiate with the Moscato family, whatever that dollar amount is, so they can make a county park that would be in Bloomingdale. Mike and I have a conference call tomorrow with Tony Denover from the county, so we can share our concerns with being a county park here, pros and cons, and really ask him, is Bloomingdale going to get anything else out of this? All right, because we are losing, if this goes through, we will lose a rateable. There's no doubt about it. But I can't tell somebody they can't sell their property, no matter who's buying it, unless there's a reason for that. But if we had a county park in Bloomingdale, and my opinion is if it does happen, it will bring people to Bloomingdale, which does what? Makes our businesses grow. They might come to the park and go to one of the restaurants in town or to another place, or just, help out. They'll be driving through Bloomingdale, which would benefit us in the long run. So there'll be more to come on that, but I just want to make it clear that it's with we've had people come to Borough Hall questioning it, they're buying Moscato Farm. No, they're applying for a grant, Green Acres grant, to hopefully purchase that property. And it is $4 million what they're applying for, so they have to match it. I think they have to put up $2 million themselves. I think that's the way it works. So it's a long way off. They are applying, that takes time, so there'll be more to come. So I just want to let everybody know that the Moscato Farm at this point is not sold. Okay? Is there any other questions from anybody? Anybody? If I can answer it, I will. But we'll have more after our conversation tomorrow. Okay? All right, which one are we going to do first? We have two non-agenda items. Okay. This would be 12?
It's 12, yeah, 7.12.
Okay. All right. Resolution 12-2021. This is a resolution to acquire 7.54 acres of land, known as the portion block 5105, lot 14.02, that would benefit proposed development to affordable housing on the property adjacent to the Muir track. What we looked at was the Tilcon, we looked at the map, and the Tilcon property, they're never going to use this acreage, it's too close. So we thought if they would donate this land to us, it would alleviate problems on the other side. It would be less, I'll call it blasting of the mountain to make it, to build, and it will alleviate problems from the Van Dam area, so you won't see it as much. If anything from there, we'll move it closer to the other side of the DPW. It is, correct me if I'm wrong, it's the left-hand, if you go into DPW, it's up on the left-hand side over towards Tilcon. That land is unusable by them, but we would benefit as a town to get more land to hopefully keep everything away from the residential side of Van Dam and that corridor over there. So we thought that was like a no-brainer when we asked Tilcon to increase the acreage. So that's what this is about. Okay? So I need a motion on the floor to accept this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
And sorry, just one quick question.
Sure.
So in theory, they're shifting the entire project 7.5 acres north.
In theory.
In
Yes.
theory.
It's, the total acreage increased from the, 35 acres, whatever
Because
it
you
is?
needed the 7.5. Now, 7.5, that's going to remain to the south. That will remain natural?
Let's set a north, I would call
Well,
it.
it says the northern portion, that's right.
Yeah, but if you're looking at a map and you're standing on Union Ave, I would think north is dead up the mountain.
I see, right.
It's actually to the west,
Our theory behind this is
to the left.
if and when we find a developer for that, the property becomes more desirable because the mountain area over there is not as great as over on this side. So that's less they would have to take down to build.
Right.
They would move, shift stuff over. This is us sitting there looking at a map.
Okay.
So are we there yet? No. But to get another 7.5 acres makes the property worth a little bit more money, I think.
Right.
We are giving up a little bit of stone, because Tilcon wanted the stone to take over, and then they would donate X amount of thousands of tons to Bloomingdale. Okay, so, but the worth of the property versus the stone, we think, as a town, it would benefit not only the town, but it benefits the residents, I'll say down by where Linda lives, that whole section there, because you're not going to, hopefully not see all that, all right? It still keeps it kind of preserved, or that look.
And the potential builder is aware, on board, agrees that this would, lack of a better term, make it easier to build.
Lack of a term, yes, but like I said, we're not even there yet. This is an idea that we came up with, and Tilcon agreed to it. So this is just trying to make things work for Bloomingdale and make it more desirable to our residents.
All right, thank you.
And Jack, just clarify, the reason it's not agenda was Fred just got the particulars at the end of the day today.
Yeah.
And we're trying to save 3 weeks so we can close on this property and get our 2.4 million in September.
Yeah.
The CFO is getting nervous about the 300,000 we put into our budget.
So we're
If we don't
just,
see that money, we're gonna have a,
Yeah.
I understand that.
okay,
So that's what this does. This helps us get
Okay.
closer to closing on the property and getting our money.
right, roll call, right?
Yes.
Okay, roll call, please.
Julie,
Yes.
Yazdi,
Yes.
Tomato,
Yes.
Delariva,
Yes.
Graziano,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Okay.
we're going to introduce.
Okay, we're going to introduce ordinance number 17-2021. This is, well, you can read by title. Can I have a motion to read by title?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
An ordinance of the Borough of Bloomingdale, County of Passaic, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 2, Administration, Section 2-80, Fees Charged for Municipal Services of the Code of the Borough of Bloomingdale. Second and final for this will be August
17th?
17th as well.
Okay. You want to explain a little bit about this way?
Yeah, so this one goes along with the last one we just introduced as well. If you recall, a couple of months ago, we had an issue, we were trying to add some flea market dates. The zoning said 2 or 4 of them. We wanted to add a couple more in the ordinance, and had to go to planning board because it sat in 92, which is zoning issues, as opposed to the mayor and council just waiving it. So all this one does now is this is going to take the fees and take it out of zoning where it shouldn't have been in the first place and puts it on our fee ordinance. So at any time, if the mayor and council feel necessary, they want to waive fees for whether it's the garage sales or flea markets, they can do so without having to go to the planning board. That's it in a nutshell.
Okay, we're just making it easier on people that want to hold these events in town without going through a big process.
And just for clarification, Mr. Mayor, the fee for garage sales was already in your fee ordinance. There just was no fee for flea markets, which is why it's only flea markets in this ordinance.
Correct, thanks. Okay. That's it, right? No, there's no executive. Can I have a motion to open up late public comment?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody wanted to speak, please come up. Come on.
First up is heartfelt sorrow for your loss. My name is Scott Lawrence, 133 Wood Terrace, Amity, New Jersey. I was here at your last city council meeting, and I really want back to ask for guidance on your behalf as to where I might start a dialogue with the borough of Bloomingdale as I continue to do diligence at 206 Packard, including having called Butler Electric to find out if there was absolutely any impact to the residential and or the electrical grid that was here. and what it would take to do the necessary things. So as I continue to do that and continue to look at water, continue to look at the space and whether it works and navigate the very confusing legislation that's out there, I have a significant belief from what I've learned and heard from the attorney that was vested in due diligence and from our last meeting, there could be something here for everybody. But with all due respect to you, Bloomingdale, I would like to take direction from you as to how I would proceed, because it is your decision.
Well, at this point, obviously you know what we did at our last meeting,
Yes.
all right? We haven't had a serious discussion of exactly what direction we're gonna go. We're still waiting for guidance as everybody else. I would probably ask us to speak as a committee, council committee, not the cannabis commission at this point, to see where our heads are and what direction we want to go. So I think we would start out with forming a committee, and since, John, you're pretty involved in this, Dawn, and Drew, you want to get involved in this?
Sure.
To start there, and meet and come up with some guidance for us and speak amongst yourselves, and then we can talk about intelligently amongst the rest of us to answer your questions.
I appreciate
All right?
that. There are several emails that I had sent out previously based on the last discussion that we had here, to give a little bit of background. But if there are any questions going into your discussions, my contact information is in those emails,
Okay.
and I can give it to you and answer questions ahead of that to determine whether it's worth your time in doing this type of diligence or not. So I may be able to assist you and or answer some of the municipality side of this and what benefits and what may not benefit. But they have to align with Bloomingdale.
It's a little, we're also struggling with the lack of guidance from the state. We actually have asked the state, I mean, whether that means anything or not, we have asked the state for more time.
Yeah.
I don't know
They're
whether,
probably, so the state went on grass for now. So whatever was standing prior, they were hoping to have resolution for the municipalities prior to that. I spoke with New Jersey Cannabis Association, the president and founder, who told me that actually they anticipate, since they did not change or move the date, that August 21st will remain a hard date for regulations in some form, whether that has to do with the rehabilitation of medical, municipality guidance, licensure, all of that. So we're all in that, waiting for that to happen. There are a lot of discussions that have been going on for a long period of time. It's frustrating for everybody. But there is more information than I think a lot of people know. And I have access to some of that information. I can be vetted on your end and validated as to where some of these things may go. So the only reason that I say that there's absolutely no rush, for me, because as a micro license, I'm waiting for guidance as well, but there is actually a move to keep that as an open application process, as opposed to closing it down as they will for the larger companies, which there's not space in Bloomingdale, 85,000 square feet going to one. So yes, you can kind of go one step, one day at a time. But anyway, I offer to share all of that information, and I would love the opportunity to express a little bit about what we're doing.
The thing that's, I don't know, scares me or I think about with this is, if they leave it up to us, they say that the municipality can make your decision. State will come in, just my feeling, that they will come in and say, no, this is the way you're gonna do it.
Right.
So we're gonna go through all this process and get everything in place, and they're gonna come in and say, they're gonna change the rules. Because I don't think they have a clue.
I agree with the last one.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Okay. Because when any state goes from medical to adult use, they don't have a clue. And every state has done it completely different, right? And so all I have is to look at the states that have done it and done it well, and see if that model is going to work here. where the opportunity is, I think, in all of this sort of waiting and seeing. Some of the truth about it is that the cannabis industry is that the federal government is not going to work on it or deal with it right now. They're not going to legalize it. They may give banking, they may make it easy for the state regulated businesses to function properly and to return the tax revenue that will go ahead and stabilize the taxes in the municipalities that participated, as well as homeowner prices and everything else that needs to go along with that. So I believe that they'll pass the banking. There won't be a legalization or deschedulization, which makes it a very nervous situation when you're dealing with the state. And particularly the state that's writing the law as we speak, right? So the micro business, which is not going away, which will be the strongest New Jersey entity play. This is not a transferable, this is a vested interest in the business owner's part of the entrepreneur, is going to stay. It will not go away. How they regulate, tax, fine, and deal with the big MSOs who are going to be putting up fortresses on the Delaware, that's going to be where their attention is going to be. And that's why they give the municipalities to do that. I went to the Hackensack City Council meeting last night, where they finalized their ordinances, and they were given the option to opt in or opt out of any one of the 9 licenses that are going to be out. You can say that you'll headquarter the delivery system, and not even, it's an ancillary business, and not even mortgage on it. You could do a dispensary, you could do cultivation, you could do processing, you could do testing. There's so many different ancillary licenses that will be attached to this cannabis legalization. So you can choose 1, 2, all of them, none of them, opt out. The 5-year thing is gone. You can opt out and opt in now. That was given to the municipalities to have control over whether, to due diligence to see if it was right for them or not. So there's, my point about Hackensack last night is 1 retailer, like Teterboro and the highways, and 1 cultivator. They don't have a large enough warehouse space in the overlay zone to be able to do that. This morning I was meeting with people in South Hackensack, totally different city council. They're all in, but again, don't know what direction you're going. All I can do is give my business the opportunity to be as much of a good neighbor as I can to the municipality that is a primary part of this business and how we work together, because it's not going to go away. Getting in early, we can take advantage of that and establish a relationship that's sustainable for a long period of time. And it's not a large total. You're not dealing with, you're dealing with me. As a founder, Rob, 100% New Jersey. That's not going to go. Okay. So that gives, some places have chosen to use that as their entry point, like I used the micro license as my entry point into the cannabis industry as a whole. And we walk through the process together. Okay. Thank you very much for that. You have my contact information, I guess? Or is there one particular threat that emails you, I'm sure?
Yeah, we have your email for sure.
You have, that's good.
Got it.
Outstanding. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing no one, motion to close late comment, public comment?
Second.
Okay. There is nothing in executive session tonight, so we're good there. So I need our next meeting is August 17th at 7 PM here. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Enjoy the weekend when it gets here. Stay cool.
It's Tuesday.
Tuesday, every day
The rest of the
for me.
week.